This is Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for.
On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the proposals to stop EDSA bus carousel. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the first to stop, first to go rule. This week's Paig Chuper shall be about following the 3-second distance rule. Showcase this week shall have the MPV from Mitsubishi, the Expander Cross. While for race weekend, we shall have the highlights of the 2023 National Slalom Series Round 6.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are on this week's episode of Motoring Today. Join us.
Life should be filled with stories to be liked and loved. Elevate your drive with the new Honda City. Take value and performance to the next level so you can view more places and check into new experiences. With Honda Sensing, you can do all these with peace of mind with its modern design and advanced features. The new Honda City is for those who are ready to step up their game. The new Honda City. Elevate your drive.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management.
The price of diesel is again on the rise in transport groups, including the so-called Magnificent 7+1 of Pasang Mazda, Altodap, Piston, Acto, Fedjadap, Stop and Go, El Top, and UV Express or Mighty One have proposed to implement a rush hour surcharge. Under the proposal, a surcharge will be added to the fare during the so-called rush hours from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and from 5:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board is reportedly amenable to the proposed rush hour surcharge. According to news reports quoting Alliance of Transport Operators and Drivers Association of the Philippines President Melencio Vargas, LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadix III informed them that the LTFRB is now finalizing mechanics for implementing a rush hour surcharge. Transport groups are also asking the LTFRB to allow them to automatically implement a temporary increase in fare when diesel prices rise by more than 7 pesos a liter, with a promise that fares will revert to the previous level when fuel costs go down past the agreed benchmark. The latest diesel price increases have resulted in drivers losing at least 90 pesos per day or 2,250 pesos a month. At the same time, the LTFRB is reported to be planning to grant fuel subsidies to around 1.3 million drivers and operators of public utility jeepneys, buses, taxis, shuttle services, school services, tourist services, transport network vehicles, tricycles, and even delivery riders. In news reports quoting LTFRB Executive Director Robert Paig, the Department of Transportation is waiting for the release of funds from the Department of Budget and Management, which will be used to subsidize operations of public transport providers. The Land Transportation Office is planning to use malls as distribution centers for unclaimed license plates. In a press statement, LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II said the agency was talking with dealers and malls to become distribution centers where vehicle owners can claim their license plates. The LTO chief said the plan to use malls where vehicle owners can claim their new license plates is meant to ensure the agency's district offices will not be overwhelmed by claimants. The LTO also plans to use an appointment scheme to allow the smooth distribution and release of license plates, as well as an online process to apply for new or replacement license plates. Mendoza added that the app for such a system is already in place, and he hopes the shift of majority of LTO transactions to online appointments will take place within the year. The Department of Public Works and Highways is planning to raise by 0.7 meters the Tulaok Bridge that spans across the North Luzon Expressway in San Simon, Pampanga. Raising the bridge will allow the NLEX to also raise the level of the portion of the expressway underneath the bridge in San Simon that is prone to flooding in heavy rains. The DPWH recommended the solution after motorists suffered hours-long traffic along the segment of NLEX that got flooded by heavy rains for a number of days. A PNA news report quoted DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan as saying funds will be made available to jack up the Tulaok Bridge, a project he described as not too difficult or would not take long. Raising both the bridge and the elevation of the NLEX underneath it is a medium-term solution to the flooding. The PNA report also said a long-term solution was also presented during a recent briefing attended by Pampanga local government officials, representatives from Metro Pacific Tollway Corporation, and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The long-term solution called for the construction of a water impounding facility in Candaba. Another subsection of the Calax or Cavite-Laguna Expressway will be open to motorists by September, promising to offer more convenient and faster access to Silang and Tagaytay. In a press statement, MP Cala Holdings Incorporated said the Calax-Silang or Aguinaldo interchange is now 91% complete and is targeted to be open to motorists in September. Construction activities being undertaken include the development of the toll plaza, concrete pouring for the main line and median barriers, as well as various finishing works, MP Cala added. The focus is moving towards the construction of toll facilities, including road lights, signages, and sound barriers, as well as preparations for the toll collection system. With the opening of the new subsection and interchange, Calax expects to cater an additional 5,000 daily motorists, it said.
And those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines.
Mega Manila Consortium, the group of bus operators supplying buses to the EDSA carousel, is asking authorities to return to the past when buses were limited to the 2 outermost lanes of EDSA and to re-establish the 14 bus stops that existed before the pandemic hit. The bus operators are claiming they have been losing money ever since EDSA carousel was implemented. Around 3,000 buses operated on EDSA before the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority and the Department of Transportation decided to establish an exclusive lane for buses in the innermost lane of the major thoroughfare. Today, only 550 buses are allowed to use the EDSA busway, while other buses were assigned to other routes in Metro Manila. In proposing to return to the old normal of bus operations on EDSA, the operators promised to police their ranks to avoid the congestion that led to commuters having to spend 2 to 3 hours traveling from one end of the EDSA to the other. Among the first to oppose the proposal to do away with the EDSA busway or carousel and return to the old normal is the MMDA. MMDA Chairman Romando Artes reiterated that the EDSA busway has been successful in cutting down the travel time from 2 to 3 hours to just around 45 minutes from its endpoint in Monumento to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange and vice versa, benefiting commuters in Metro Manila. The MMDA also claims that the EDSA busway helped ease traffic congestion along the Metro's main thoroughfare. Artes reminds everyone that government has invested a lot of money towards establishing the EDSA busway, which also involved realigning routes of other PUVs. This means, he indicated, that any proposal to do away or replace the EDSA carousel needs to be studied thoroughly. Also opposing the bus operators' proposal are cycling groups who also have a stake on EDSA, which has segments with bike lanes delineated by lines as well as barriers. Artes also noted that government has invested a lot to establish bike lanes on EDSA and other major thoroughfares of Metro Manila and other major centers, as part of an initiative to encourage people to use alternative modes of active transport. The most recent word from the DOTR about the EDSA carousel or EDSA busway is that studies are now being undertaken on how best to privatize its operations.
That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
You're back with us here on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's important motoring tips. Starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines. Kung marami kayong sasakyan na nakahinto sa intersection, keep in mind that the first to stop is the first to go. This way, maiiwasan ang banggaan at iba pang aksidente. Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. Here's Payong Choper this week.
Payong tsuper lang, kaibigan. Ako si Rodrigo, isang kapwa niyo tsuper. Siguraduhin may sapat na espasyo pagitan ng inyong sasakyan at nasa inyong harapan sa tuwing namamasada.
Maaari mo itong gawin sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa 3-second rule, kung saan ikaw ay maglalaan ng 3 seconds of space sa pagitan mo at ng sasakyan sa iyong harapan. Humanap ng palatandaan sa gilid ng kalsada. Kapag nakita mong nakalampas na dito ang sinusundang sasakyan, saka ka umabante at sumunod.
Tandaan sa pamamagitan ng pagsusunod sa 3-second rules, maiiwasan ang gitgitan sa kalsada. Ito po si Rodrigo Apas, Payong Choper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo choper.
Ready?
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsport is next.
In motorsports news, Richard Gallardo was quickest overall during Round 7 of the 2023 Philippine Autocross Championship Series held at the Okada Manila Boardwalk. On a sunny day for racing at Okada, second quickest in overall category was Rod Chang, while Jen Colina finished third. Rod Chang and Jen Colina also finished on the podium on the open category, second and third respectively, behind Ron's Yuson, who topped the class. Ron's Yuson topped the DBS category with Rod Chang again in second and Paolo Batangantang in third. Glendale Cuento was fastest in the novice class, with second fastest Adrian Javier just edging Jose Carlo Ocampo, who ended up third quickest.
More on the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. After postponements, mainly because of torrential rains and flash floods, Round 6 of the 2023 Race Motorsports Club National Slalom Series finally took place at Robinson Star Mills in Pampanga. Race Weekend brings us the highlights.
Maganda po kasi para marami po matuon sa driving skills and sa pag-drive po. Tsaka mga disiplina po sa driving. Kailangan po yusin yung driving skills ko kasi new start lang po. Ngayon lang po ulit ako nagtutuloy-tuloy.
Today was quite trivial, if I could say the least. And it's all because of the very erratic changes with the weather and conditions. We started off the day with a really scorching heat, a really dry track, and then suddenly the rain came in. We started our day off, luckily we were able to set a time in a decent set of conditions, but things started to get tricky for us when we felt the others were gaining on us, even it was during the wet conditions and the damp conditions, so we were experimenting a lot with our setup with all our equipment. But when the conditions went back to the optimal one, the really dry one, that's when we were able to pull off another personal best. Basically, we've been leading the whole day, but of course you can't help but feel the pressure of everyone else trying to chase you for the overall best time. For me, I think our weakest link so far is our setup against the boys from Nueva Ecija, Gapan, because the track there is very, very tight. It's very small. It's not wide. It's wide, but there are not enough stretches for us to maximize the power, the bandwidth of our car. So I think that's gonna be our next challenge, going up against those guys. Now when it comes to the driving, but how the car matches the track. And I'm pretty sure when it comes to driving, we can keep up with them, but they have everything there when it comes to the data, the talent, the dedication to strive for perfection. I think that's the disadvantage we have when it comes to their home court for now, and which is the next leg in September, around September 11 if I'm not mistaken. So.
Here's hoping that the rains won't come and perfect weather prevails during more race weekends. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. We'll be back after this short break.
Isuzu Mu-X. Take the lead.
Our car of the week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. So you want an MPV for the family, but you don't want it to be a mom mobile. Perhaps the Mitsubishi Xpander Cross is for you. This showcase takes a look at Mitsubishi's entry into the 7-seater MPV segment.
Mitsubishi first rolled out the Xpander in 2017 as a 7-seater multi-purpose vehicle in Indonesia. It took a year before Mitsubishi Philippines brought it to the country, and it was a hit in the local MPV crossover segment as it was in the region. But competition in the MPV segment is fierce, and Mitsubishi, listening to customer suggestions, wants, and needs, unveiled the Xpander Cross, an upgrade that moves the MPV closer to SUV from crossover level. The latest Mitsubishi Xpander Cross, all 4,595mm long, 1,790mm wide, and 1,750mm tall, while sitting 225mm off the ground, can stand among SUVs on parking lots without looking out of place. The Xpander Cross gives a dynamic shield concept the steroid treatment along with new front and rear bumpers, and 17-inch two-tone alloy wheels to make it look more like an SUV. The Xpander Cross can be immediately recognized on the road, day and night, from the T-shaped headlamps housing 3 projector LED lights matched by the T-shaped LED rear combination lamps. The Xpander Cross also comes with front fog lamps, roof rails, and fin-type antenna. The Xpander Cross interior has been given a major makeover with premium soft touch materials on the dash, the doors, and the sides. One gets into the cabin with Mitsubishi's keyless operation system, locking and unlocking the doors and starting the engine with a push of a button with key fob in pocket or bag. The seats are upholstered in navy blue and black synthetic leather with a heat guard that helps keep the seats cool on hot days. The leather steering wheel with multiple buttons and controls on the Xpander Cross should look familiar to Montero owners. It tilts and telescopes and returns to linear position even when driving at a slow speed. The cabin dash looks premium, classy, and high-tech, especially with the 8-inch digital LCD meter cluster, the digital air conditioning controls with clearly laid out buttons and large toggle switches and control temp, fan speed, and aircon modes, and the 7-inch touchscreen smartphone link display audio system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. While looking like a proper SUV, the Xpander Cross provides much of what families look for in spacious MPV that can comfortably sit 7. There's a front armrest with console box and tissue holder between the well-bolstered driver and front passenger seats, and a second-row seat with fold-down armrest with beverage holders. Mitsubishi also thought of families who love their gadgets and included Type A and C USB ports and 2 12-volt accessory outlets, one in the front, another on the third row. The Xpander Cross is powered by Mitsubishi's 4A91 DOHC 16-valve 1499cc inline-4 gasoline engine with MIVAC that generates 104.5 PS and 141 Nm of torque. This is mated to a 4-speed automatic transmission that sends all that power and torque to the front wheels. With the highest minimum ground clearance in class, the Mitsubishi Xpander Cross should give drivers confidence in tackling flooded streets. This should prove useful in these days of sudden downpours flooding major thoroughfares in the metro. Mitsubishi has also improved the ride and handling of the Xpander Cross, which comes with a suspension featuring McPherson struts with coil spring and stabilizer in front and the rear torsion beam suspension system found in the Montero. The brakes feature front disc and rear drums combo but comes with anti-lock brake system and electronic brake force distribution and brake assist. Also aiding driver on the road is a number of automotive technologies like active stability and traction control, active yaw control, hill start assist, and for parking, a reverse camera. Also added for safety are driver and front passenger airbags, 3-point seat belts for 7, ISOFIX, and tether anchors.
The Mitsubishi Xpander Cross is listed at $1.328 million, which should make this MPV an SUV guy's appeal to loyalists and lure more to the brand. That's our featured vehicle in this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantees.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track. and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry takes center stage.
Geely Philippines has added another crossover to its lineup, an entry-level model that is expected to do battle with the likes of the Toyota Rays. The GX3 Pro comes in a size and sticker prices that make it the smallest and most affordable Geely in the local market. The GX3 Pro combines Geely's proven performance with touches of luxury, offering a package of cutting-edge features to the young and entry-level market at very competitive prices, starting at 778,000 pesos for the S variant with 5-speed manual transmission and 878,000 pesos for the Comfort with continuously variable transmission.
All new GX3 Pro that belongs to a SUV, subcompact crossover, and we basically set the very sharp pricing of 798K for CVT. And when it comes to the spec level, basically that comes together with the 8-inch infotainment system, reverse camera, and the rear sensors, also coupled with the leatherish seating material. And so this is actually something that really stands out from the spec level in this segment.
Also during the launch, Geely assured buyers of the GX3 Pro and other members of the brand's local lineup of a great ownership experience through the G-Serve Plus.
G-Serve Plus, basically it's a brand commitment to the customers in the after sales, and we have to basically make invisible visible. So we have the 4 USP that we had already promised to the customers, but that is basically yet to be fully digested or understood by the customer, and that's part of the reason why we came up together with the G-Serve Plus idea and concept. And basically for the new entry customers who are supposed to buy these GX3 Pro models, their concerns is all about after sales during their ownership. So we felt this is going to be a perfect timing to launch G-Serve Plus concept.
Mazda vehicle owners in Pasig and nearby areas now have a new and premium dealership to check out the latest models from the brand or have their current rides serviced. Mazda C5 Pasig has formally opened its doors, showcasing the new premium dealership corporate design and promising to deliver a premium experience that the Japanese brand's customers expect and deserve.
In terms of the brand signature, this is a brand new dealership that we had an architect called Ted Ramos. He went over to Tokyo to study the flagship in Tokyo, which is Katana no Baba, and he came back here to redesign this and infuse it with a Mazda Global Premium dealership design. So this concept is really like the first of the Mazda corporate dealership. The design is clean, it's minimalistic, it's premium looking, it feels great, and it goes really well with the product.
Mazda C5 Pasig sits on a 2,343 square meter lot on E. Rodriguez Jr. Avenue, corner Carlos J. Caparas in Pasig City, with 6 vehicle showroom and 6 service bays.
Biggest doesn't mean all that significant about how you feel about it, what the customer service quality is like, how they're being serviced here. The product in it has to be premium. So this is like a boutique kind of business in here. It's big enough for 6 vehicles, and we're very happy to be working with the new company Inchcape.
Mazda C5 Pasig is operated by Inchcape Philippines, the joint venture between the leading luxury vehicle distributor, CATS Group of Companies, and UK-based Inchcape. Mitsubishi Motors Philippines celebrated its 60th year in the country by holding a special event at the World Trade Center. During the formal opening of the MMPC 60th Anniversary Expo, MMPC President Takeshi Hara spoke of the brand's long relationship with its clientele.
Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation, in short MMPC, has been more than a company selling vehicles. We have become an integral part of the Filipino society, contributing to its progress and shaping its economy and culture through our products and unwavering core values.
Open to the public, the MMPC 60th Anniversary Expo showcased many of the Mitsubishi vehicles Filipinos have come to love, as well as the latest models being sold in the market.
We have lots and lots of vehicles from the past, from the 1960s. We have your iconic classics such as the Lancer box type, the Pajero Fieldmaster, and many more. So many Lancer Evolutions, rare cars, so a lot to see here in our very big display.
The expo also showcased concept vehicles, the XFC and the XRT, that hinted of what Mitsubishi will be introducing to the country in the near future.
And we have a special display of two of our concept cars here at the World Trade Center. So exclusive here, you will catch the XFC concept. So it's our 5-seater B SUV concept car, which we will launch next year. And also on display is the XRT concept, or we have revealed earlier that we'll be launching it next year with a new name. So our current pickup is called Strada. So it will be reborn next year as the new Triton.
AC Motors has officially taken over as official distributor of BYD, one of the world's leaders in the manufacture and distribution of hybrid and pure electric vehicles. AC Motors Group Chief Operating Officer Jaime Alfonso Zobel announced a new partnership with BYD.
We are delighted to announce today a partnership with one of the world's largest and fastest growing players in the EV space, BYD. BYD is a company with whom we share the principles of innovation, excellence, and a desire to contribute to a more sustainable future for all. In particular, as we seek to provide long-term value through management of costs along the life cycle of the vehicle, BYD has demonstrated global leading capabilities in continuously innovating battery technology, which contributes to more than half the cost of the vehicle at this point. Through these unique capabilities, BYD offers a broad portfolio of models that are global leaders in terms of price and quality in the respective segments. We are excited to welcome BYD to an extensive list of partners at the Ayala Group. We look forward to working together to provide Filipinos with safe, accessible, innovative, and quality electric vehicles.
Zobel said the Ayala Group is uniquely positioned to provide long-term value to EV customers, given its assets in renewable power generation, automotive distribution and dealerships, property development and management, manufacturing, financing and insurance, and digital connectivity, all critical components of an EV ecosystem.
Our goal is to catalyze electric mobility in the Philippines and progress to become the leading EV platform in the country in both market share and scale and utilization of our ecosystem.
Toti Zara, head of automotive distribution of the Ayala Group and CEO and president of Mobility Access Philippines, local distributor of BYD, further detailed Ayala's plans for developing EV ecosystem and dealership network.
We mentioned our plans to have at least 12, if not 13, showrooms within the first 12 months. We mentioned about our plans to grow this eventually to 40 showrooms within a 5-year time span. But as we grow this network, we think there's a unique opportunity to grow a network not in a traditional way of a 3S dealership facility. We would like it to be a combination of 3S facilities, meaning showroom and service center, and also satellite showrooms. No, yes, Ayala Malls would be an easy access for us, but we don't want to limit ourselves within Ayala Malls. What's nice about EVs is that the requirement for maintenance would only be, 25% of an ICE. So the mega workshops that we used to have for ICEs, we don't need anymore for EVs.
Isuzu Philippines Corporation is partnering with the Philippine Children's Medical Center, or PCMC, on a project called the Bahay Alalay Temporary Accommodation Program.
As we celebrate our 26th anniversary, we will be partnering with PCMC in this new Bahay Alalay project. Every day, PCMC receives hundreds of children from all over the country, and we think that providing decent place to stay for recurring patients and their watchers in is much needed facility in the hospital.
Top executives of Isuzu Philippines and PCMC held groundbreaking ceremonies for the construction of the Bahay Alalay, a 3-story facility that will serve as a shelter for watchers and recurring outpatient children needing periodic pediatric services.
As soon as the Bahay Alalay is completed, IPC will be providing all the equipments and furniture needed in the building, as well as adapting its playroom located on the ground floor to give a little ray of sunshine for outpatient children staying in the facility. We will try to make it comfortable as possible for parents and watchers so that they can worry less about their accommodation while their children are getting medical attention.
Doctors at the hospital are thankful for the help provided by Isuzu Philippines to care for the welfare of young patients and their watchers.
Itong Bahay Alalay temporary shelter for our patients and their watchers is actually a dream come true for PCMC. Noong pa man kasi, madami kaming pasyente na nanggagaling sa ibang lugar, in other provinces, na wala silang matutuluyan, wala silang matirhan dito sa Maynila. At habang nagbabantay sila ng kanilang mga pasyente, ng kanilang mga anak, wala talaga silang mapagpahingahan man lang. We are very grateful for all the support that has been given to us, of course, from the national government who funded this infrastructure. But also, we are very fortunate and we are very thankful for our partners, particularly now the Isuzu Philippines supporting us because we have the infrastructure but we do not have anything for the appliances and other needed equipment inside the building. And so we very much appreciate the help, the support of Isuzu Philippines in providing all this.
And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 37th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa.
Happy motoring!